Hey guys, so I filmed a makeup video for the person who asked for how I do my makeup, and I deleted all the footage because I'm a complete and utter dumbass. So now I have to start over. Hell yeah. So first we're just gonna start by putting our hair up because we got bangs and up in this bitch. Fuck yeah. So I've already moisturized because my skin's on the dry side, so I always moisturize. So my favorite foundation is NYX Total Control Drop Foundation, and I believe I have a fucking super light shade. So I just kind of mix it up a bit. And I don't put that much on, I just put it on the parts where I feel like I need it. Which, thank God, isn't too much. And now we're just gonna blend. I use a beauty blender because it makes life easier. As you can tell, the shade doesn't completely match me, but personally, I don't care that much because it's really close. And the coverage isn't too high, but the coverage is still really good. So next I'm going to use this Lasting Finish 25 Hours Rimmel London Breathable Concealer in the shade 100. Not the second lightest shade. Because you know what? I'm really tan. I only have to use the second lightest shade. Which is really cool. So I put it on my finger because I'm a dumbass. And I just kind of put one dot here, and one dot where I feel like, and like the dots wherever I feel like I need it. Because my skin is not perfect. And I blend in using my middle finger because I feel like that gets the job done much better.
Not a shade of it, but I like it a lot. I just kind of swirl my finger around lightly, get a bit of product, not too much, and I just tap it on. I go like that to apply enough pressure for it to go on.
If I feel like I need more, I'll just dip back in. So I feel like this shade looks really good for my pale ass skin. I believe I have 2 shades of this type of blush. Okay, so now we're just gonna set our face, and I use Wet n Wild pressed powder, this one, in Warm Light. And I take this $2 e.l.f. fluffy brush, which isn't dense enough for powder, I find, so I took a rubber band and I wrapped it around here, so that makes it a bit denser, which I find helps me out a lot. So I'm just twirl it around a bit. So I'm just putting it where, all over basically. You see, I don't take that much powder, and this powder not much comes off in like a single swipe. So next I'm taking this e.l.f. 2-piece eyeshadow palette thing called T for 2, and I take the lightest shade and I use that just to set beneath my eyes using this brush I found somewhere, I don't know where. I find this really helps keep me from creasing and keeps everything secure beneath my eyes. Next, we're going to take this e.l.f. Concealer. This has minimal coverage, practically none. Don't really like the color, doesn't work for me, but I find it's really good for priming my eyes. If you have sensitive skin, you may not like it. I'm not sure it works well on me. Ever since I ran out of actual primer, works well. Darn, I messed up a bit. Whoop. And so I just pat it on. Get it into my eyes. Not into my eyeballs, but like cover my eyelid. Whoop. Sorry, I accidentally set off my ticks. So I'm going to take this matte shadow thing in this and with this brush again, and I'm just going to put that all over my lid to prime sort of my base color. So that just allows for everything to look a bit better, I feel. So now we're gonna take, I'm taking this eyeshadow palette called On the Rocks, Neutrals on Ice, and I got it at TJ Maxx for like $3-4, maybe $5. I don't know, I really like it. I feel like the pigment's really good. I feel like it really works for me. And I'm gonna take the shade Body Shot, which is this really pretty pink color, and with my Eco Tools, their blend brush with the double-sided two-set one, and I'm just gonna apply that over my eyes. I really like this palette, and it's super cheap. I don't know, it has pretty colors, some weird colors, which I personally like. I like looking a bit funky. So we're just gonna kind of evenly apply this, and we're gonna work it up to about here. Not super high. It is a really light color, so it doesn't really show too much. I mean, it shows, you can tell that my eyelids look pink. So now we're gonna take our other Eco Tools brush, and this one, the more dense one, and we're gonna take Bloody Mary and cap off the excess and just set it there, creating some dimension with our eyes. I don't know, I'm trying to sound like I know what I'm doing. I just have too much time and a bunch of cheap makeup. As you can tell, I'm doing this pretty messy and it's not turning out that well, but we're gonna fix this up later. So then I'm gonna go in with the blend brush again and kind of tie those two together, making it look a bit more together. So now we're gonna take the shade Maraschino Cherry, which is like this dark plum color, and we're just gonna put that also on the outside, and we're gonna work that up into our crease. These colors come off pretty easily, like you can just wipe them off if you get them from them somewhere you don't like. And which I personally like, considering I don't go out in makeup too much, and I find it makes it much easier to remove at night. And then, as you can tell, that's a mess, so I'm just gonna fix that. Okay, now that I fixed that, I'm just gonna kind of blend everything together using the blend brush again. The blend brush is really nice with the shape, and so I feel like I can really get it where I need it to be. It really does the job for me. So now that our base eyeshadow stuff is done, we're gonna take our concealer, like the e.l.f. one again, and we're just gonna put a tiny bit right on the very center part of our eyelids, right there. and we're going to dab that in, just focusing there, not really getting it everywhere, just focusing right where we want it. Because we're going to apply some funky colors. Yes. Okay, so I have this e.l.f. eyeshadow palette, and I find it has a lot of brown shimmers, which personally I like the center of my eyes to be a bit lighter, and I don't do that much dark makeup anymore. Whoop. So I don't really feel like this palette works for my skin tone particularly, but if you have darker skin, like, you could definitely use it for like a pop on the eyelid if you just want some shimmer there. I'm going to use these three shades, this brownie, orangey one, and that pinky one. Tap off the excess because this one has a lot of fallout. And I'm just gonna glide that on there. And I'm gonna take the more goldy one too. And now the other eye. It's okay to dip in again. I have to do it quite a bit. So that's the shimmery part. Now I like to have a bit of fun beneath my eyes. So I'm going to go in with this palette again. And I'm going to take the light pink and this medium brown. Tap off a lot of excess, and we're just going to go right there. You see? And I'm doing that on the other side too. I really like the way this looks, and it's just what I enjoy. So I'm gonna go in with the this thing again because it fixes all my problems. Going with the light shade, and I'm just gonna use that to kind of clean up the edges that I messed up on and blend everything together so it doesn't look like a chunk of color on my face. So everything blends in together. I just kind of use it to blend the stuff evenly into my brown bone instead of making a mess. So now, speaking of brow bones, time to do our brows. This is the one high-end makeup I own, and I didn't even buy it for myself. My friend got it for me. My friend got the wrong color. It's Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in dark brown. And I take this paintbrush that I cut up, because, you know, I get everything very professionally, and I'm just going to use that to, I really just focus on the center, like right this part of my brow, because I find that that's what I like to draw more attention to rather than the tail of my brow. You see, I really like this pomade, but I feel like since I already have dense, dark brows, I don't have the full idea of what it's supposed to do because I don't have to do much with it. And from what I do with it, seems good, but if you have much sparser eyebrows, I'm not sure if it would work for you or not. That's just it's something I don't have to deal with, so I'm not very aware about that. So next, we're gonna move on to eyeliner. So I have this Wet n Wild eyeliner, which I like to use because it's cheap. And so I'm just gonna go in, I really just focus on the outer side. So like, just not really bringing it into the inner part, but focusing just right there. And you know how this looks like a complete and utter mess right now? Guess what? We're gonna fix it with the other end of the fluffy brush. I'm just going and kind of smoke it out very lightly. You see? It kind of just cleans up the edges, I feel like. not really much to like spread the pigment, but more to like get the pigment in place and kind of make things go over much more smoothly. And that's step one of our eyeliner. Next, I'm going to take this this e.l.f. eyeliner with a very, look at that wand, and I just go very close to the lashes, very close. It's kind of just like for a bit more of a pop. You see, very close. It doesn't, I feel like I don't make it do much because of how close I put it. Personally, it's just fun. But I feel like it does add something. Okay, and that's the eyeliner. Now, I like sparkly stuff. I love highlighter. And so I have this e.l.f. Baked highlighter and blush in rose gold. So, and this brush came with the eyeshadow palette we were using earlier, which I really like. I like using this brush for highlight, so I'm going to just take this very shiny color and pop it right on the center, like the ball of my nose, and a bit there. And then I just kind of dip it in, and so this highlighter, you have to like scratch off the surface before you really get into it, but damn, like I don't remember the cost, but it's pretty cheap, I believe, and so it like does a lot for the price point. And I've just put it on my Cupid's bow because we love a good Cupid's bow. Now I'm gonna put this stuff on the inside of my, like the inner corner of my eye, but I feel like it doesn't stick there well enough just plain. So I have this e.l.f. highlighter stick in the shade Permission. I cannot read that. I'm not sure if you guys can. I'm just gonna take my ring finger because hell yeah, I feel like that's what does the trick for getting it there. And I just kind of scoop it in, and hell yes. And you see, I think it's really pretty, but because I'm extra, we're gonna go in with the other side of the brush we were using for highlight, and we're gonna dip into this bad boy again. So I would recommend just getting the highlighter. I don't like the blush at all. I don't use it. I just don't like it. And as you can tell, we're making that shit pop. So I have this waterproof length and volume mascara that I'm just gonna do real quick. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm just going to take this e.l.f. lip pencil thing in the shade Wine and just apply it right here and here. So doing a really messy job. It's not the point to do good with this because we blend. And I'm just gonna outline my Cupid's bow a bit more with this. Put a bit more in the center. If you want to use something other than your finger, then you do you. Personally, I just kind of like how I do it this way. And so now I'm just going to take down my hair, and that's a finished product of my makeup. Hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a splendid day. Thank you, and bye.